Welcome to another fantastic edition of Arsenal Fans Beat, brought to you by Arsenal Fans Globally. Today we're going to be looking at one cognitive position in the Arsenal team, a position that happened to have hampered our capitulation this season, a position that gave us so much sublime goals in the past season, a position that we thought would have got a permanent replacement until injury came and reduced that fantastic play in the final third of Arsenal season. Each time we have a player that is able to nudge in that sublime pass that breaks and carves in every defense of our opponents, we shout, "Yay!" that we're doing it. Remember in the times of Ozil, Mesut Ozil, his passes in the final third was top notch. But somehow when Mesut Ozil left, before Mesut Ozil left, don't forget that we had a player, Santi Cazorla. That guy was something else. Before Santi Cazorla, we had a Thomas Rosicky. And don't forget, Arsene Wenger described Thomas Rosicky as an orchestra. He said each time he plays like the orchestra. Injury never gave him an opportunity to showcase what he got. And after Thomas Rosicky, we now had Mesut Ozil. But one of the biggest challenges we had with Mesut Ozil is like, when you play with Mesut Ozil, you're playing with a short-born man. The guy never challenges opponents. Give him the ball, he knows what to do with it. He knows when to give you passes that will tear defenses apart. But the truth is that Ozil was never ready to mark opponents. Now enter Martin Ødegaard. And when Ødegaard came into the scene, we were all happy that we've gotten our orchestra back. We've gotten that player that gives us that sublime pass in the final third. But somehow when that injury came, Ødegaard hadn't been the same player again. Ødegaard is in 6 and 7, holds on to the ball too much, doesn't know when to shoot. Unlike last season, guy was on top of his game, he was scoring goals. And everyone was comparing him to Kevin De Bruyne of Man City. And people were comparing to Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United. But somehow this season, he just fizzled out. Holds on to the ball too much, even cost us games. Recalling the match against Crystal Palace, where we were leading and winning, and somehow we capitulated with that is cameo right in front of our box, and Arteta scored. But now that is not the question. The question we're talking about, what is in question today, is not what he did not get right. It's for us to look out for a deputy. One thing that made Man City a top club side is that in every position they had a deputy, and a good deputy in that case. You cannot say that when it comes to our defense line. Our defense line, we've got some good deputy that plays for one another, especially when we had injury on the back four. But we had guys that came in and they fitted in well. But we could not account that for our strikers' position and our midfield. And one good thing you need to talk about is that when your midfield isn't playing well, the midfield of everything is like that engine that regulates every part and brings every part into the flow of the game. So when it's not playing well, guy, forget about it. You're not going to get the goals as you want them. Because if you look at it, first season when we lost to Man City, we didn't have a clinical striker. Gabriel Jesus was injured, and we had a Dean Ketia that was not giving you that 20 goals a season. And second season, the same thing. Third season, the moment Ødegaard got injured, and when he returned from injury, he was never the same. Now, looking at deputy for this guy, there are 3 players that I have in mind. 2 of them are young players that are coming up. But the question is, do we really need players that are coming up that we're going to be giving time to groom into the league and just understand how the team plays and all that. We don't have that time now. In as much as every Arsenal fan globally are asking for an out-and-out striker that is clinical enough to notch in beyond 20 goals a season, we need a midfield orchestrator that can give the sublime pass in the final third, that can tear defenses apart and give us the opportunity to score. Now, the other player, the top player that I have in mind, is a player that Arsenal threw away as an academy player and said, he wasn't good enough for this Arsenal team. And somehow, over time, he has grown, he has become a robust player. He has become that player that can take the game by the scruff of the neck and take it to the final third and try to give defenders, that is, keep them restless. And that player, you're going to know about him. Now, the first player that comes to my mind that I watched during this Premier League season is about ending the 2024-2025 season is a player that I like because of his daring way of playing. That is no other player than Facundo Buonanotte, Argentine-born player from Brighton that was loaned to Leicester City. This guy, the way he plays is phenomenal. He's unfazed, he's not scared. He's daring to take opportunities, to take on players. And this player has played 30 matches for Leicester City, scoring 5 goals and giving 2 assists. That is good for a player that is playing for a team that is not really contending for the Premier League. But the question is, does he have the capacity or the capability to hold on to that pressure of ensuring that he performs week in, week out for Arsenal? Are we ready to wait for him to grow into that phenomenal player that is experienced in deciding matches for us? These are the questions we need to answer. So, guys, let me know your view and know what you think about this player. The other player that comes to mind is English-born Jamie Bynoe-Gittens that plays for Borussia Dortmund. He's a young player, but he has done so well, playing 31 matches, notching 8 goals with 3 assists for Borussia Dortmund. They're comparing the Bundesliga and the English Premier League. They are 2 leagues different, but are we ready to wait for him to grow into that status of becoming a match decider for Arsenal? Now, the final one is a player that I think anybody will want to take. And I don't think if we're going to get him that he's going to come on a cheap. I don't think he's going to come on a cheap. But if you bring him back to Arsenal, it will be like a second homecoming for a player that played as an academy player for Arsenal. And this player has done so much well. The way he takes on defenders in the Premier League, he's not scared. He takes his shot whenever he wants to take his shot. And if a coach in Arsenal or a coach like Mikel Arteta wants to take on this player under his arms, I'm sure all he just needs to do is to polish some rough edges and he's good to go. So whenever Martin Ødegaard, our captain, isn't playing, we'll be on phase. We'll not be scared of, who is going to play his position, who is going to be this player that we're going to, trust to play the way Martin Ødegaard does. And that player is no other player than Eberechi Eze of Crystal Palace. He has shown times without number that he's ready for the big occasion. I'm sure that if Arsenal board and Andre Beta knows what they are doing, that is the key player we need. Because just like I said, we just need to get a striker, get a midfielder, get an attacking midfielder also, a winger, for us to complete this team of Arsenal. Because we need to take the league by the scruff of the neck. If we do not sign big and sign key players that are coming and become instant hit for us, we should forget about titles next season. So let me know what your take is on these 3 players that I've mentioned. because it's important that we look at what is going to happen in the next season, and the earlier we do it, the better for us. Yes, we know that we sign Zubimendi and the likes of them, but today I'm talking about the playmaker's role. That guy that can hold the ball, take on defender, cause free kick, give us opportunity of scoring from set pieces. Because that is one other thing that we lack this season. We didn't have that player like those days where you could see players take on opponents. That okay, I know that this game is difficult, but now it is left on my shoulders. It is my responsibility to take on the entire defense and see how I can create havoc and cause either penalty or cause a free kick that will lead into a goal. Those are the things, because we need to bring these goals to be scored from every corner. Yes, they call us Corner FC. Yes, we've devised a means of scoring corner kicks. Look at that opportunity that Arsenal missed against Liverpool, where the entire Liverpool defenders were running away and Arsenal defenders were running in alongside, and that gave Bukayo Saka that opportunity that he fluffed. So let me know what your take is on this position of a playmaker, so that we will know who is the right player to sign between Facundo Buonanotte, Bynoe-Gittens of Borussia Dortmund, and Eberechi Eze of Crystal Palace. Until then, don't forget that this is the Arsenal Fans Beat. Don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe to this channel. Until then, it is come on, you Gunners!